Hi everyone, this is Migs from Sneaks and Ball PH, and today we'll be taking a look at the top 10 Christmas gifts for sneakerheads. Before we get started, if you do like the video, please make sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Then if you have any comments, questions, or any suggestions for future videos, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below as well. Then I'll also be leaving a link to the SNBPH Sneaker Hunters Facebook group in the description box, so I do hope you can join us over there because that is a place where we talk about sneakers and basketball quite a bit. And it's also where we have the SNBPH Steel Cabinet, where I take some shoes that I no longer use, or some shoes that I've reviewed in the past, and put them up for bidding at way below market value. Then if you haven't already, I do hope you can sub to the channel because it really does help us out quite a lot. So with that being said, today we'll be taking a look at the top 10 gifts for sneakerheads. So it's like a top 10 of like stuff you can buy for yourself, or you could share this video with your parents or your uncles or your aunts, your other relatives or your significant others, just to give them a little bit of a hint if they're gonna get some gifts for you. This is a top 10 list, but there really isn't any particular order. So let's start it off at number 10 with crew socks. Crew socks are definitely an essential for sneakerheads, and it's also one of those things that sneakerheads can't get enough of. You actually can't really have enough crew socks because for most sneakerheads, we have more than a couple of pairs, and with a lot of shoes comes a lot of socks. And in my opinion, crew socks are definitely the way to go. There are definitely a lot of options with crew socks because you can go to the mall or the department store and get crew socks from anywhere. But if I were to recommend what really works for me, I would recommend the Nike Elite socks, which are these ones, and the Jordan Essential crew socks, which are these ones with the Jumpman here on the top. Now the reason that I like these is that they are adequately thick and really comfy on foot. They have additional padding in your high stress zones like underneath the ball of the foot and the heel, and they also in my experience last pretty long, and that's the reason why I don't have the Nike Essential crew socks, the ones with that Nike swoosh on both sides, because in my opinion those aren't really durable, and within a year you're gonna have to replace them. But for me, like I said, the Nike Elite socks and the Jordan Essential socks are really comfy, and they also last a pretty long time. Adidas also has pretty good socks, but there are some, like the ones with the 3 stripes on the top, that are a bit on the thin side, so just be wary of that, especially if you're thinking about the long-term durability of your crew socks. Then moving on to number 9, just like with crew socks, another essential for sneakerheads would be slides. These are definitely the way to go if you're just chilling, or if you're just gonna go for a quick grocery run and you're not really in the mood to wear some sneakers, or if you just got done with a game of basketball, football, or you took a trip to the gym. These are really good for letting your feet breathe a little bit and let you relax. And some people even use these as like a staple in their rotation, like they use it with crew socks, and there are definitely a lot of people that do this, which is why it is in the top 10 sneakerhead gifts. There are definitely a lot of really good slides out there. You have the Nike Asuna. You also have the Nike Kawa slide, which I found pretty comfy as well. Under Armour as well makes pretty comfy slides, but they're not like the shower slides where you can get them wet. But for my favorite slides and the ones that I always use and the ones that I always buy, you have the Adidas Adilet Comfort slides, and these are just super soft and super plush and just feel so comfy underfoot. I also like how comfortable this top part is because with some Nikes it is a bit tight, so this really has always been the one that fit my foot the best. The only issue with these though, as you can probably see from my pair, is that it's not too durable. But otherwise, it's pretty much just a perfect slide. But it also depends on what you're looking for, because there are some that you can get wet, like the shower slides. And where Nike does have the upper hand in terms of the slides would be the designs they have, because they have some really nice colors and designs. While with Adidas and Under Armour, it is a little bit more plain and simple. Then moving on to number 8, we have sneaker cleaners. There are a lot of places where you can have your shoes cleaned, and those are really like professionals and they do a good job. But for the most part, I really don't have my stuff deep cleaned because I don't get them that dirty. So what I would really recommend is to have your own shoe cleaner, because you only have like a little bit of dirt, a little bit of a scuff here and there, and those are really easy to clean. But of course, you'd rather have a sneaker cleaner so that you don't damage your shoes. There are definitely a lot of good brands out there. You have Rejuvenator, you have Glide, you have the new sneaker cleaners that other YouTubers have. But for my own personal sneaker collection, what I use is Jason Mark. And the reason why I like the Jason Mark cleaner a lot is because it has a very subdued and very chill smell. It does smell really good, especially when you put it on your shoes already. It's just that personally for me, I can't really stand those really strong scents. And the Jason Mark cleaner is kind of perfect for that because it is pretty mild, but it will definitely keep your shoes clean and keep them smelling good as well. Like I said, there are so many brands, and for the most part, they're all pretty good, so it really just depends on which sneaker cleaner smells the best in your opinion. Then speaking of smell, for number 7, I just grouped all of these things into like one category called sneaker deodorizers. When I say sneaker deodorizers, it's basically just anything that will keep your shoes smelling really good on the inside. And it could be a lot of different things, like it could be like a bag that you put inside your shoe, it could be like a spray, and there are definitely a lot of different options. Like Jason Mark has these things where you insert them into the shoe, and those are made of like charcoal, so it really absorbs any stenches. And that's definitely a good option if you have a few shoes. But if you have as many shoes as me, it's definitely gonna be hard to buy one for each shoe. So what I ended up going with for all of my shoes is the Clyde Odor Eliminator. And essentially this is a spray with a really nice scent, and it's disinfecting as well. And essentially all I do with it is that every time I come home and I take off my shoes, I take a couple of sprays on each, and that's pretty much it. It just leaves it smelling really good because it has a lot of essential oils, and it also just kills the bacteria, which is really where odors and smells come from. So like I said, there are a lot of options, so it really depends on like how many shoes you have, because for me, just having a lot of shoes, the other option where you stuff something in the shoe was definitely not on the table. Then moving on to number 6, while we're on the topic of having a lot of shoes, as you can see there are a lot of shoes behind me, and with that being said, my number 6 suggestion would be shoe boxes. There are definitely a lot of different kinds of shoe boxes, and it'll really depend on like your budget and like how you want your shoes displayed. Like for example, for the shoe boxes on this side, these are a bit cheaper. They're around 100 pesos or like $2, so definitely very inexpensive. They do, however, get the lids broken quite easily, but they have lasted me a long time, and mostly because I take good care of it. But if you want a little bit of a low budget option, that would be a good one. And then here on my other side would be the more premium ones. So these have magnetic locks, they're side opening, and they're clear on all sides. And these are like really heavy duty. They can fit a lot of my high cut shoes, like my Jordan 1 highs, my Jordan 7s, Jordan 8s, because those are really high cut shoes. And that's the other problem with these ones. As you can see, there are some shoes that are laid on their side, and that's really gonna happen if you buy one of these cheaper ones because they don't have as much vertical space. The more premium ones can range at a price of like 500 pesos, which would convert to around $10. And that might not seem like much, but if you have a lot of shoes, then the cost really just adds up. So it's really up to you to balance, like you want it to look super nice like this one, or do you want to save some money and just, buy these ones. Both are pretty good, but of course I go with the more premium one because it's much nicer looking, and I think it also protects the shoes a little more. Then for number 5, of course, sneakerheads also need clothes. So one of the things I really enjoy wearing with my sneakers would be mesh shorts. These kinds of shorts have been really getting popular over the years, and there are definitely some options that are more expensive than others. Like you have your Eric Emanuel mesh shorts, because he's a designer and he makes these really well. But you really don't have to spend too much, because I found a lot of other options that are pretty easy on the budget that look just as nice. I mean, I do have quite a few, and I bought these from Hustle Club, which is a brand here in the Philippines. And these ones would be my Hollywood shorts. I have Lakers shorts as well, so repping the purple and yellow. And then they had a Champions pack. So these are for last year, so these would be the Milwaukee Bucks one. I really like the color on these ones, and I think it's just a really cool trend because these are super comfy. They have good ventilation as well, which is nice because it's really hot here in the Philippines. And they also look super nice with sneakers, and I actually even play basketball in these, so sometimes I could just be around in the mall, then I hit the gym or go to the court, and I'm still wearing the same shorts. It's just a really versatile pair of shorts because you do look fly, but they're also super functional. Like I said, I got these from the Hustle Club, and they don't sponsor me or anything, but you can check them out on their Shopee page or their Instagram page. But there are also a lot of other options, either here in the Philippines or in the US or in Europe or wherever you may be. So that would be my number 5, mesh shorts. Then moving on to number 4, we have another thing that really matches well with sneakers, and I actually do get questions quite a bit on like what I wear with my shoes, because you can see them on the videos, which is why for number 4 we have joggers. Joggers are super nice if you want a super relaxed fit, and if it is a bit colder, you can definitely get some warmth from these. And in my opinion, it's just a perfect sportswear option because super comfy and it fits really well, and it overall just gives you such a chill vibe because it's a super relaxed fit. But personally, the main reason I got super into joggers is that I have really thick legs. like really thick thighs, and it's just really hard for me, especially here in the Philippines, to find a good pair of jeans that fit me well, and it always is just a struggle. So I was just like, just forget about the jeans and just started like getting a lot of joggers. They are definitely a staple in my rotation, and especially now during the holidays because it is getting a little bit colder. These also look super nice with any sort of basketball shoes, basketball retros, or even classics. I mean, you really can't go wrong. Just imagine having a pair of clean Jordan 1s and a pair of joggers. You're pretty much set. And like I said, a lot of people ask about my joggers on the channel, and what I would usually wear are Nike joggers or Converse joggers. For the Nike joggers, I get them over at the Nike website, or sometimes, I see a sale in the mall and I get them from there. And then for the Converse joggers, I do just get them from my local department store. They're actually on sale quite often, and they are really nice and clean. And I also have a few that are from Uniqlo. They aren't as thick and as premium, but they do feel pretty comfy and they're relatively inexpensive. So that is also an option if you want something a little bit on the cheaper side. The Nike ones can go anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 pesos, which is like 40 to 60 US dollars. It's a bit pricey, but they do last a super long time. I mean, I've had mine for more than a year now, and they don't really show major signs of stress or wear, and that's definitely a good thing. Then for number 3, of course, we've already covered the socks, we've covered shorts and pants, and of course that only leaves us with the tops. So for number 3 on my top 10 gifts for sneakerheads, we have vintage tees. The shirt I'm wearing is a vintage tee. As you can see, it's a Pittsburgh Steelers shirt because I am a Steelers fan. But anyway, going back to the shirts, vintage tees have been like a big craze over the past couple of years, and it really just is a nice look for sneakerheads because a lot of sneakerheads are into Jordan 1s or Air Force 1s or Nike Dunks. So I guess having some vintage tees to mix in with your classic sneaker rotation will just further accentuate your look. Vintage tees can get a little bit expensive though, especially if you buy from those really upscale vintage tee shops. But where I was able to get mine, or where my girlfriend was able to get it because it was her gift to me, was on Instagram. And Instagram is definitely a good place to look for some because they do get a bit cheaper than if you buy them in stores. So if you're looking for vintage tees for yourself or for other people, just go on Instagram and check if there are some in your area. Then moving on to number 2, this is a pretty interesting suggestion, but I would go and have custom shoes. I did make a video a while back with my girlfriend where I gave her a custom pair of Air Force 1s that were inspired by Naruto, and those were definitely a solid gift that she enjoyed. And I do think that if you get these for yourself, or if someone gives that to you, or if you give that to someone else, the person who's gonna receive it is gonna love it a lot. With customs, it's basically just a free-for-all. I mean, like with a classic shoe like an Air Force 1, there's so much you can do. You can do basic things like put a logo or change the color of the swoosh. You can have something really complex like having a Naruto sort of comic on the shoe, which is what I did, and it really came out super dope. So I definitely would recommend getting some customs if you're gonna get a gift for a sneakerhead. There are definitely a lot of places where you can get this done. I mean, you can search on Facebook, on Instagram, or on YouTube, and the price is definitely gonna vary if they are a super in-demand person. Like, if you do it from the shoe surgeon, just make sure to have a lot of cash ready. But there are definitely a lot of local shoe artists that do a really good job as well. If you live here in the Philippines, I would really recommend Custom Kicks because he does a lot of good work. He can do a lot of really complex designs, but he also does customize like Jordan 1s to make them look like the Chicagos or the shattered backboards, and he does a really good job of that as well. Then for number 1, it's pretty much one of the most life-changing things I've ever gotten for myself, at least in terms of being a sneakerhead, and that would be a sneaker bag. I have 2, and these are both from Katha, and if you're in the Philippines, I definitely would recommend them because they make really nice quality bags that will definitely take good care of your sneakers, and that's really why I enjoy it. So when I say sneaker bag, it is a bag that's specially designed for sneakers. You can definitely see it from the design. I mean, it opens here at the top, as you can see, but it also opens here on the side, and this is really easy access. And as you can see, I have my Kyries, which I am still reviewing, so review on that pretty soon. You also have these dividers that are attached by Velcro, and the nice thing about that is that you can easily move them, so you can pretty much customize the space inside to whatever you need to put. I put my dividers in this bag like that, so I have a pair of shoes, and the upper part would be more for clothes and for my basketball. So it's really nice how they give you that versatility. Like for example, with this red one, instead of having that divider at the bottom, I used the vertical divider, which is like this, and that's really cool because you can sort of put something a little taller here. Like I remember one time I brought my keyboard, So I let it stand here vertically while having my shoes on the other side. And it's really just super useful having those dividers. And the best part about having a sneaker bag that's, specifically for sneakers is that it's a lot more rigid and it keeps its shape. Because for other bags like gym bags and your regular backpacks, if you put your shoes in them, there's a high chance that it'll kind of get squished. And as sneakerheads who really love their shoes, and some of us who pay way more than we should for some shoes, you definitely want to take good care of those, and these bags definitely help with that. Kata makes these backpacks which, if you really fill it, you can have 3 pairs of sneakers in it. But they also have duffel bags which can house 4 sneakers, and those are an actual duffel bag and not a backpack like what I have. It's just I'm more of a backpack person, which is why I went for this option. But it definitely is up to you on what you're more comfortable with. And there are quite a few other brands, I did mention Kata, and that's the company I really swear by. And you also have Valve, and you have a lot of other brands, especially in the US. And they all pretty much make use of the same concept. And at least to my knowledge, they're all really good at keeping your sneakers nice and crisp. Because like I said, sneakerheads really don't like their shoes getting squished or deformed. So there you have it, guys. Those were my top 10 Christmas gifts for sneakerheads. So I really hope that helped you out if you want to buy yourself something nice for Christmas. Or if you kind of want to give your relatives or your significant others a little bit of a nudge, hey, you might want to get me these. Just send them the link and hope they get it for you. And once again, if you do like the video, please make sure to leave a thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already yet, please do make sure to subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon for notifications. And as always, whether you're looking for that retail win or you're going Christmas shopping this 2021, just keep on hunting.